Hey everybody, it's Miss C, fourth grade teacher at Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship. And today we are going to be talking about precipitation. So yesterday we learned about the three types of clouds. We learned about the cirrus clouds that are thin and they look kind of like stretched out ribbon. They're wispy in the sky. We learned about stratus clouds that are thick and wet and heavy and that will cover the sky in a dark blanket. And we learned about cumulus clouds, those really nice fluffy clouds that look like cotton balls up in the sky on a nice sunny day where you can still see the blue of the sky. And we know that those clouds mean that if they get really thick, a storm could form. But if they're not really thick, then we know it's just a nice sunny day outside. So today we're going to be talking about precipitation. And there are 3 or 4 different types of precipitation. We have rain, snow, hail, and sleet is kind of a form of snow. It's like a mixture of rain and snow. And all of these depend on the temperature. So if you will turn your Fusion book to page 268 and 269, we will start reading about precipitation. Precipitation forms when water particles inside of clouds grow too large and fall to Earth's surface. Rain, snow, freezing rain, sleet, and hail are common kinds of precipitation. Rain may start as ice crystals that melt as they fall to Earth's surface. Snow forms when water vapor changes directly into ice. Freezing rain occurs when falling supercooled raindrops do not freeze in the air, but instead freeze when they strike objects near the ground. Sleet is made of small lumps of ice. It forms when rain falls through a layer of freezing air. The raindrops turn to ice before hitting the ground. Hail is made up of layers of ice. The layers form as air currents inside a thunderstorm cloud repeatedly lift and drop a hail particle. Each up and down trip adds ice to the particle. A ball of hail can be smaller than a pea or larger than a grapefruit. We have a picture of rain here, of snow, and of hail. Many factors affect the kinds of precipitation that fall in a place. For instance, snow falls in places with cold winters. It also falls in places with very high elevations. In contrast, hail might fall anywhere and at any time of year. It may even fall in places near the tropics. People depend on precipitation to meet their water needs. Too much or too little precipitation can be a problem. Now, I have an interesting story about hail. So we know that hail can fall anytime during the year, right? So when I was probably in the 4th grade, I went to Colorado and I was with my sister and we went to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. So here's what we know about mountains. They have higher elevation, right? Well, it was the middle of the summer and we were at the zoo and the sky was covered in stratus clouds, right? Oh, did I use that right? Yep, stratus clouds. So the sky was a dark blanket of gray. And all of a sudden, we were walking from one place to another, and it just started hailing. Huge, huge pieces of hail, like almost golf ball sizes of hail. And we had to get out of there because it was extremely dangerous to be in the middle of that because it's pelting your skin and it hurts. So that is just an example of that hail can happen any time of the year and in many different places. Colorado is similar to a desert. It's very dry, but it hails all the time there and out of nowhere. So we also know that precipitation, like rain, is important for people. Why is rain important? What could it bring for us? Well, people use it for many different things. Maybe people use it to power, they need it to keep a river at a certain level because they use the river for hydropower, right? We learned about different forms of energy, and hydropower is something that people can use for electricity. So maybe they rely on a river for their electricity. And in order for the river to stay at a certain level and keep flowing, we need a reliable amount of precipitation, a reliable amount of rain. Or maybe someone is a farmer and can they grow their plants without water? We know that plants need 2 things. Well, 3 things. They need water, they need air, and they need sunlight. So if we don't have water, then the plants can't grow. But too much rain is a bad thing. Too much rain can cause erosion, and that is something that we'll learn about. It can cause the soil or the dirt to wash out. It can also cause other things to become loose, like rocks. So we have a picture here of a flooded river. Too much precipitation can cause rivers to overflow. It can cause flooding. It can cause damage to crops and homes. And here we have a picture of very, very dry land. And in this dry land, what do you think happened here? If there's too much rain here, then there was not enough rain here. And this is called a drought, and we will learn about droughts. Too little precipitation is called a drought, and droughts cause the ground to dry out and plants and animals to die, because we know that all living things need water to live. So now we have this box here, precipitation, cause and effect. Our chart wants us to fill in the missing cause or effect. And this is something that we learned in ELA. So if our first scenario is snow has been melting for several weeks, rain is predicted for the next 5 days, what would be the effect? If the snow has been melting and now we know that rain is going to start raining for the next 5 days, what can we think will happen to a nearby river? So we have the snow turning from a solid into a liquid, and now we have more rain coming. So I would say the effect would be that there could be a possible flood. And now we have the opposite. We have an effect, and we have to predict the cause. If our effect is the lake that supplies water to a city is very low, what do we think caused this to happen? Do we think that it has been raining a lot? Does that cause water to be low? No. What would cause the water to be low? What types of temperatures? Hot temperatures. So it must be very sunny, it must be warm, and it probably has not been raining at all. So there is our cause and effect. Okay, now you're going to do your exit ticket, and tomorrow we will talk about erosion. All right, stay tuned.